How much adrenaline do you need to keep fighting after your hand gets chopped off? You've probably heard stories about the Battle of Marathon, where the underdog Greeks pushed the massive Persian Empire back into the sea. But there is one moment from that battle, one specific gruesome death that captures the absolute insanity of ancient warfare better than any movie ever could. It's not about strategy, and it's not about generals. It's about a guy named Cynegirus, a Persian axe, and a grip so tight that death was the only way to break it. To understand how we get to the guy losing his hand, we have to rewind to the final phase of the battle. The famous part is over. The Greek phalanx has already smashed into the Persian lines. The Persian center has collapsed. The invaders are retreating. Now, usually in ancient history, when an army retreats, the battle is technically done. The winners cheer and the losers run. But Marathon was different. The Persians weren't just running away into the hills, they were running toward their ships. And this is a huge problem for the Athenians. If the Persians get on those boats, they aren't going home. They're just going to sail around the coast and attack the undefended city of Athens while the army is stuck here on the beach. So the Greeks realize they can't just win the field, they have to burn the fleet. The orderly phalanx formation breaks down completely. It turns into a chaotic, desperate sprint across the sand. Imagine thousands of men in heavy bronze armor chasing thousands of terrified but dangerous Persian soldiers into the surf. This is where the slaughter happens. It's not neat. It's not heroic lines of shields. It's mud, blood, and salt water. The Persians are trapped against the ocean. They are frantic. They're climbing over each other, wading chest-deep into the water to grab the ropes of their triremes. The Greeks are right behind them, hacking at their backs, trying to set the wood on fire. And right at the front of this madness is Cynegirus. Now, Cynegirus isn't a nobody. He's actually the brother of Aeschylus, the famous playwright who wrote the tragedies everyone studies in college. But today, Cynegirus isn't writing plays. He's leading the charge into the waves. The scene on the beach is absolute carnage. The Persians are shoving their boats off the sand, desperately rowing to get out of range of the spears. 7 of the ships have already been captured by the Greeks, but the rest are slipping away. Cynegirus spots a Persian ship that's just starting to drift loose. He knows if that ship leaves, it's heading straight for his family in Athens. He sprints through the surf. He's probably exhausted, covered in gore, dehydrated, but he launches himself at the stern of the Persian ship. He grabs the ornamental curve of the ship's tail, the aplaston, with his bare right hand. He's trying to physically hold back a multi-ton warship by himself, screaming for his comrades to help him pull it back. But here's the thing. The Persian crew isn't defenseless. They are looking down at this madman clinging to their ship. A Persian marine, likely a high-ranking officer given the equipment, grabs a battle axe. He doesn't hesitate. He swings down with everything he has. The axe severs Cynegirus's right hand cleanly at the wrist. Now, this is where history blends with legend, but the story that survived is unbelievable. Some accounts say Cynegirus didn't even fall back. The shock hadn't hit him yet. He supposedly grabbed the ship with his left hand. The Persian soldier, probably terrified by this zombie-like determination, swings the axe again. Off goes the left hand. And, if you believe the most extreme versions told by later historians, Cynegirus, now handless and bleeding to death, lunged forward and bit into the wood of the ship with his teeth, trying to anchor it with his jaw until he was finally killed. Whether the teeth part is true or just Greek propaganda to make them look tough, the hand chopping is almost certainly real. It was recorded by historians who had access to the eyewitnesses. Cynegirus died right there in the water. The Persians managed to launch that ship. In fact, they saved most of their fleet. But the image of that hand, still gripping the ship as it sailed away or falling into the bloody surf, became the symbol of the entire war for the Greeks. It showed that they were willing to literally tear themselves apart to stop the empire. It's interesting, Cynegirus' brother, Aeschylus, went on to become one of the greatest writers in history, but when Aeschylus died years later, he didn't want his tombstone to mention his plays or his writing awards. He only wanted it to say one thing: that he fought at Marathon, and that the long-haired Persian knew his bravery. He was talking about the same beach where he watched his brother get hacked to pieces. The Greeks built a monument to Cynegirus. They painted him in the Stoa Poikile in Athens, capturing that exact moment of sacrifice. But I always wonder about the guy on the boat. If you were that Persian soldier holding the axe, looking down at a man who refused to let go, even as you chopped him apart, would you have been impressed by his bravery or absolutely terrified by his madness?